Okay, so
It's not doing it?
I don't know.
No.
Maybe it is because it's a.
I'm sorry.
Start streaming. Stop.
Here we go.
streaming.
No, live. Come
Okay,
on.
so we are live. That's what's up. All right. Welcome everybody to the Ladies Lounge with Jazz and T. It is, what's today? Sunday?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness, it is Sunday. Damn, it's been a long week. All right, it is Sunday and we do have a special guest in our presence. And guess what? It's Dr. Umar. We didn't make it up. Boom. There
Sorry
he is.
for the delay.
Sorry for the wait, but we had to do what we had to do. And he is here now in our presence. So thank you all for joining us. Again, we are here in the Ladies Lounge. And we are going to talk to him about some of the things that's going on in our community. And we're going to also, share the opinion share the questions of the audience. And it's just going to be a fun show. So wait a minute. I didn't even ask you, Dr. Umar. Will you be willing to play a game with us? Okay, so let me tell you what it is. Wait, because I didn't ask you and it's rude. I don't want to spring on you last minute. What is the game, friend? It's like
we're gonna ask.
I'm gonna give you a name. I'm gonna give you a name, and you tell me the first word that comes to your mind when you hear the name. Okay, so you go with that?
But before that, we would like you to introduce yourself. Of course,
yes.
You are Dr. Umar Johnson. But
wait a minute. Yeah, everybody that don't know.
Who are you?
Peace and love, family. Dr. Umar Johnson, Doctor of Clinical Psychology, School Psychologist. I'm author of the book Psychoacademic Holocaust, Special Education and ADHD Wars Against Black Boys. I'm a blood relative of the great Frederick Douglass, former Minister of Education for Marcus Garvey's UNIA. And I'm in the process of building the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy for Black Boys, to which end we may have found a school.
Amazing. I do definitely want to ask you questions about that. And you know what? Let me tell you something. The response has been so live about you being here. Like, they're not even waiting for the opportunity to ask questions. Like, they've been texting me like, well, ask him this. And then I asked you one question. I'll be damned. It's been like a plethora of questions since I asked you the one question. So I didn't feel that it was fair to interrupt your off time.
I don't mind.
Until you got here, because now I have your time. So I appreciate that. So I have notebook pages full of stuff. Okay? And I did write it down, so don't be mad if I ask you how it was written to me.
That's okay.
You know what I'm saying? You don't have your Philly cap on, so I feel that you're not going, kick me off the stool.
But welcome to JT Ladies Lounge.
Yes.
This is Jazz. I'm T, and we have a special guest, Dr. Umar. Thank you for being here. Thank you.
Wait, and thank you for being here because my friend, do you understand I was going to have to kick her ass through the door because she was like, oh my God, he is not going to come.
No, I was coming.
I said, friend,
thank you. Really appreciate it. But let's get down to business and the real talk and the real stuff.
Jazz, I want you to tell us about you. Like, tell us a little bit about you, about starting off, like, how did you become, more conscious?
So passionate
about, your quest. Yes.
I would say 3 factors. One was Black History class in the 4th and 5th grade, North Philly. I think that Mrs. Green, the Black History teacher, played a big role in the development of my Black consciousness. So that's number 1. Number 2 was my father taking me to my first family reunion here in Baltimore. In the 8th grade, I think it was, between 6th and 8th. And that's when I found out that I was related to Frederick Douglass. I'm not a descendant of Frederick. I'm a descendant of Frederick's first cousin, half-brother. Okay, so Frederick would be a 4 times great cousin. If you look at the relationship between his mother and my 5 times great-grandmother. Or he would also be an uncle if you look at the fact that the slave master fathered both him and my 4 times great-grandfather, Stephen. There's some debate on whether the slave master was their father or not. There's evidence to support that. But there's no debate that their mothers were sisters. So even if you cancel out the slave master as dad, he's still my 4 times great-grandcousin.
Wow. That's deep.
So I think those 2 things, Black History class plus the Frederick Douglass connection, gave me a sense of obligation to try to finish the work he started.
Wow. And how long you actually been doing, like when you
I've been doing it since Y2K. I got my school psychology master's on August 19th of 2000. Came back to Philadelphia to complete an internship so I could be hired by the school district of Philadelphia. And I started speaking for the Garvey movement, the UNIA, which is the organization that gave us the red, black, and green flag. And I would go to the meetings and I would just speak because I was the youngest member and I always wanted to know what a school psychologist was.
Right.
And one thing led to another. People would come and they would start asking me to come and speak at their church, library, college, family reunion.
Okay.
And here we are 17 years later.
So let me tell you, our show is basically based on everyday women's struggles. JT Ladies Lounge, of course, you could tell we're not your typical lounge, which we always state, because when you think about a lounge, you think about comfy chairs and, you know, you with your friends and all that stuff like that. But we wanted to build a show with talking about everyday women's struggles. Even though we deal, our shows, we do talk about males, but it's basically based around women.
And it should be, because there's a lot of issues that sisters face that are not talked about enough. The scars of historic trauma resulting from sexual abuse, and I'm coming from a therapist now.
Right.
Okay, a lot of black women have been abused. Black women are sexually abused more than any other women in America because of the sexual objectification of black women through slavery. Okay, so black women have more sexual trauma, more incest, more rape by their lover.
You mean more known rape?
More, well, it may not be known, but you know what happened to you. In other words, you're in a relationship with your man and you don't want to be intimate and he takes it. Rape within the relationship. Okay, so, and that's because the black man suffers more trauma than any other male. We have been castrated, effeminized, politically and economically. The only people we can dominate are our women and children. You see? And so that's why there's so much trauma against black women from brothers. It's not most brothers, it's not all brothers, but it is a lot. So that trauma is one thing. And I think that sets up a lot of black women for a life of untrustworthiness towards men. It's hard to trust males after you've been exploited by one, especially one who should have loved you, dad, uncle, brother, nephew, grandfather.
So how do we fix that?
Well, number one, here's the tough part with trauma. You don't want to unpack that suitcase unless you know they can pack it back up. You understand me? So we start going into your trauma, and we only got a 50-minute therapy hour. Can you pack that stuff back up and hold it until next week's therapy session? Because as your therapist, I'm concerned that if I get you to unpack that, in other words, you got to relive it. I'm going to put you through that timeline. All that's out now. Are you going to be able to manage bringing all that back to the surface until we meet again next week? Or am I going to end up getting in trouble professionally because I went there too quickly with someone who didn't have the psychological resources to deal with it? Which is why in therapy we say you peel the onion slowly. And client always knows best. So I'm not going to bring it up until you're ready.
But why you say get in trouble? Like why you say you would get in trouble?
Because I can be held responsible for the fact that although it may have been necessary for us to go into your history, I'm going to be held responsible for the fact that I made you do it prematurely. Because if you ain't got the resources to deal with it, I should have never opened up that can of worms.
But how you open up a can of worms if I come to you seeking help? Right. You know what I'm saying?
But that don't mean you want to talk about the source of your pain, though. In other words, you may have came to me for depression. You may have came to me for alcoholism. You may have came to me for heroin abuse. You may have came to me because you're constantly running into relationships where you're being abused by the male. You understand? You came to me for symptoms. You didn't come to me to address the cause. I was able to determine that the cause of all this was the sexual abuse that you experienced in middle school at the hands of your uncle. You didn't come to me for that. You came to me for symptom reduction. And now I'm telling you that we need to focus on
the root cause.
Because the person is coming to you saying, I feel this way. And you're asking why.
People come to therapy with symptoms.
Right.
They come to therapy complaining about symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
We trace it to the cause.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready to deal with that cause? Because you didn't come to me to deal with the sex abuse, but I know that's the cause of all your symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
Now the question is, are you willing to unpack that luggage? And if you say no, that's okay.
Right.
Maybe we need to talk about some other stuff. But
Right.
ultimately, we may have to go there. And if I find out that you never want to go there, you might as well discontinue the therapy. If I conclude that helping you to solve your problem requires that we re-experience the trauma.
Right. Right.
In other words, you got to go through hell to get to heaven.
Right.
You got to go through hell to get to heaven. The problem is most black women, men, we're talking about sisters.
Right.
They don't have the psychological strength, commitment, and will to go through that hell to get to heaven.
I don't think that they don't have it. I just think that once they deal with, once they unpeel that onion that you're talking about, I just think that it just brings up more stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not just the onion. It goes on.
It's a web. And that's connected to this. And it's connected to this. And that's connected to this. And that's connected. That's what you have to deal with. You know why? Because any emotional problem left untreated, we pass on to our children. If you don't deal with your low self-esteem, your daughter will be affected with it. Mm-hmm. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
When you're dealing with mental health, it is an intergenerational trauma. If you don't heal your scars, your great-great-great-great-grandkids will be suffering your same issues.
So guess what? What if you heal your scars, but then you see them resurface? And you like, damn, I dealt with this. Like the great-great-grands. Like if you see something that you dealt with in your youth, and you dealt with it and you put it in this place, like even if you didn't talk it out, you didn't work it out with a psychologist, even if you put it in this little box, you see what I'm saying? And got rid of it. And now your great-great-great-grands is dealing with something you like, damn.
But tell me about that box, though. How did you get rid of it? Did you work through it, or did you just suppress it within consciousness?
Yeah, suppress is what I'm saying.
That ain't getting rid of it. Because what do we know about psychological energy?
Mm-hmm.
It's like being in the tub, right? You got the rubber ducky. You push it down here, it's going to pop up over here.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That trauma going to manifest itself. You understand?
In some way.
And if it can't come out psychologically, it'll come out biologically in a fibroid tumor. Heart disease, stroke, cancer. It don't care how we'll metastasize it, but it's going to manifest. You got to deal with psychological trauma.
I agree.
So you feel you can get? Do you feel that you can get over it though? Like
I would never say you. I would say manage.
What they say?
Forgive and not forget.
Right.
Manage. Manage is more appropriate.
Okay.
Can you solve some issues? Yes. But the more appropriate term, I want to help you manage your low self-esteem, manage your alcoholism, manage your addiction, manage your thirst behavior. You see, and you got to talk about that thirst because, see, that thirst is what leads a lot of black women to put up with relationship situations they shouldn't be in because a lot of black women didn't have their fathers there to validate their womanhood.
It's so funny because that's exactly where I was telling her that I wanted to talk to you about black women. Like, what is your take on that whole thing?
I call it romantic ADHD. Romantic ADHD. You know, we talk about ADHD in school.
Yeah,
but it is romantic.
About that a lot,
in other words, hypothetically, you have ADHD romantically. Ain't no daddy at home disorder. Your daddy wasn't there. So you're still craving that validation of your womanhood from a man. And since your daddy can't give it to you, any man will do. And this is why women stay in unproductive, dysfunctional relationships. They're like, why am I staying with this? Because you feel you need this masculine energy to validate your womanhood because your daddy never did.
Okay, so in the event
real quick, so you believe that the saying that us women marry our fathers? Because I've heard
it can be true.
I've heard that too.
Okay.
Like a woman who dates a man who's much older than her, a lot of times that's that craving of the father's validation. Like he's like 30 years older than you, 20. Like, wait a minute.
Yeah. Right.
She still needs that father.
Right.
And some men play to that.
Right.
I'm an old head, right? I could pick up your thirst. So I'm gonna play the dad. I'm going to buy you the things. I'm going to help you with you understand? I'm going to play to your weakness. That's all game is. When you say he kick game on her, all that means is I'll down your weakness. And I play to her. What's her weakness? Low self-esteem. Attention. Fatherlessness. You see? All kicking game is playing to a woman's psychological vulnerability.
Okay, so what about you get the female that has the fatherless the single parent home.
Mm-hmm.
They are now a single parent themselves,
Mm-hmm.
but they have that headstrong. No, you're not gonna do this. Or no, I don't need you. Or no, you got that headstrong. That.
But be more specific. When you say, I don't know, is this the woman who says she don't need a man, or is this the woman who has to dominate her men as a means of controlling her romantic satisfaction?
Ooh,
did you follow that?
All deep inside.
But did you follow that?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
So we talking about the women.
I'm gonna dominate my man.
Not the
dominant. Not the
yeah, not that.
Okay.
No, just the like.
And not the one who says I don't need a man. Not her.
No, the one say I don't need no man. You're not showing your weakness, regardless of the whole.
Well, that's the fake black. That's the fake strong black male. You got the strong black female. You got the real strong black female, but then you got the fake strong black female. And the fake strong black female is really the female who's hurt. She's in pain. She's traumatized. She's vulnerable. She's emotionally exposed, but she don't want to admit it to nobody.
So what's the strong one?
The strong one is the one who, I want a man. I need a man. And I'm strong enough to let him lead when he needs to lead, because I can respect his manhood as much as I want him to respect my womanhood. The weak black woman is the black woman who has to dominate her man, who has to control him and who can't let him make any decisions. A strong black woman is strong enough to be humble when she knows it's time for him to be alpha.
Right.
You understand me? I'm strong enough to let him lead that.
Agreed.
You understand?
Agreed.
The one who got to be out front all the time, she's insecure as hell.
You say got to be your friend all the time?
Right. I got to run the relationship.
Right.
I agree.
Because no strong black woman, here's the contradiction of the strong black man, of the strong black woman dominating her men. What strong woman you know wants a weak ass male as a mate? It's a contradiction.
Right, because you meet people, or
you're strong, but you want a weak man. That don't make sense.
And you know what? And I have had friends that say, I don't like him. I could run over him, and that might be. I don't know. Like it's like.
Well, that's good. She don't want him. She can run over him.
But I guess to each his own. What is your running over him? Like
right.
what
do you mean by that?
Yeah. What is it?
Yeah. It depends on the woman.
Yeah.
It depends on the woman.
So let me ask you this. With that being said, what do you feel that black women can do to, I'm not going to say secure their family.
They got to build their self-esteem first.
But wait a minute.
Black women.
Wait a minute, but I'm not going to say it is. But I'm not going to say secure their family, because it ain't no security. You can't guarantee what another person is going to do.
No, you can't.
You can't. But what do you feel that a black woman can do to to kind of solidify her space in a black relationship?
Well, first thing first, she needs to adequately research and investigate the man she's intending to.
Damn, we gotta be an FBI.
No, not subversive. Listen, when you go looking for a new job, new house, new car, you take your time.
Right.
But we don't take our time in relationships.
Right.
And you're going to have this longer than the car, the house, and the job.
Right.
But we don't adequately respect. And I'm going to tell you why. Because most women end up giving up them draws too soon.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. And once you give up the cookie, once he sampled those fruity pebbles, stay with it.
I'm with you. Trust me. I'm with you.
If he baked that cookie better than any other man baked that cookie, it begins to compromise your objective ability to evaluate him as a suitable mate.
Wait a minute.
Right.
But even outside of that,
Sex
even if
confuses.
you do all, sex does confuse, but even if you do all of that, all of that searching, all of that research, and even
and you
if you
still
find
end up with the wrong guy, guess what? If you're a healthy sister, you'll walk away from that situation and find another one. The issue ain't that you're in a bad relationship. The issue is why are you still there? In other words, you come to me, my man does this to me, he does this, he's late, he ain't got no job, he don't pay the bills, he talks to me, disrespect my kids. How long this relationship been going on? 5 years. Guess what? The problem ain't him. The problem is you. Well, what do you mean? Why did you stay this long in a relationship, this dysfunctional?
So why do you think a lot of women stay in dysfunctional relationships?
They feel that they need a man to be a woman. Oh yes, a lot of black women.
Wait a minute, I was like, wait a minute. I was like, wait, you said they feel like
a lot of black women are raised with an unconscious message. It's modeled, but it's not stated. By mom and grandma, that you got to have a man to be a woman. Are you following me?
Yes, I'm following you, but
if I don't have a man, something's wrong with me.
Okay.
If I don't have a man, I'm inadequate. You know what I'm talking about? Because I know y'all know women like this.
Wait.
Somebody got to be in that bed, not for sex, not for sex,
right,
but for emotional validation.
Right. So what about the female?
That's why my book I'm working on, I think I'm going to call it thirsty.
Okay.
We need to hug them.
But okay, so what about the female that feels that she, let's just say not thirsty, but feel that she can save?
Do?
Oh, not save. I don't want to use the word save.
Okay,
I'm
make
sorry.
them better.
I'm sorry to use this as
I call it
save.
the healer.
Let me,
I call it the
okay,
healer.
but to help, to console.
She's a healer. She's one of my archetypes. I have the archetype.
So what's the problem with her?
The healer is a woman who don't think she can find what she wants. So she's going to find anything and try to make him what she wants. You see that? She has a crystal ball that she can rub and turn Tay-Tay the drug dealer into Tay-Tay the president of the United States.
Oh, damn it. That's a lot of turning.
Okay.
Yeah, and we got a lot of women like that. The quicker fixer-uppers.
Oh, that's like a house.
The quicker fixer-uppers.
Okay.
You see that?
Well,
It's still a low self-esteem.
Wait a minute. I got a lot of questions on these
Because I can't find what I
pages.
want.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to make something into what I want because I'm not attracting what I want. It's still an insecurity, low self-esteem.
It's maybe not she not
Why
attracting
am I
what she
fixing
wants, but
you up
maybe
when I can meet her? You see that?
Right.
The only reason why I'm fixing you up is because I don't think she'll ever be attracted to me. So I have to make something that most women wouldn't want workable for me because I don't think I'll get what I want. It's still the low self-esteem. If I could give all black women one gift, it'd be self-esteem through the roof. Because 98% of y'all problems come from low self-esteem.
And why do you think that
Attached
is?
through fatherlessness. A lot of it because the dad never validated.
Attached to fatherlessness, but once we grow up and realize that we
It don't
are
change.
dealing with fatherlessness, where do our black men play the role in the fact that they know that this is what we're dealing with as they are dealing with their fatherlessness?
Well, two
Good one, Jess.
emotionally
Good.
unhealthy people.
Right.
Two emotionally unhealthy people cannot make a healthy relationship.
How do they know they're emotionally unhealthy when they
You know
just
it.
when they just but when they just
You know
deal with
within
it,
3 to
what they
6
deal
months.
with?
The ego begins to falter its defense mechanisms between 3 and 6 months. In other words, I'm putting on a fraud for you. I'm dating you. I'm putting on a false face. 3 to 6 months, you're going to start seeing the real me. You know why? Because ego don't want to lie in the first place. I'm forcing my ego to act like I'm somebody I'm not.
Why? Why is we going through all that?
But we
Because
all
I'm
do that.
This is called marketing.
We all do that.
And I do understand. I do
Like,
understand.
we
You
can
put
all
the
be-
representative on. I do
No,
understand
but
that you put
when
you
you
give
first-
the representative.
when you
But
Social mask.
When you first meet somebody, yeah, you can say I'm being me, I'm being real. We say that.
But
We
we're
say
not.
that.
We're
But
not.
at some
We're
point
projecting
down
the
the
absolute
line,
best.
and I agree.
Mhm.
At some point, yeah, you are probably getting 50% of the real me, but somewhere
Exactly.
it's not the real.
You're marketing yourself
and that
because you want to
that
make
is
sure
true.
that the
and
product gets
that's
bought.
definitely true.
okay,
in a
but once
relationship.
the product is bought after 3 to 6 months of all the Steve Harvey bullshit you push your relationship through, after 3 to 6 months, and you got all that. You know what I'm saying? You still there, and you still that guy that has that parental issue, whether it be mother and father, and you know she got that parental issue being father. Why are we still playing this game? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do we do to strengthen our family? What do we do to make the situation better?
Well, the first thing you can do to make the situation better is making sure you're dealing with a healthy person. Forget whether he got what you look
But
for.
how do you know?
Is he healthy? You have to study, you have to watch, you have to meet mom, you have to meet dad, you have to meet friends, you have to ask the critical.
But what if you don't meet mom and dad? What if dad is there?
I'm not
mom-
marrying no
Well,
woman.
I'm about to say,
If they dead,
at some
if
point
they
you
deceased.
want to meet somebody.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
they alive.
overall,
I'm not marrying no woman. I ain't met their mother and
Right,
father in their life.
What if she don't know her daddy? Is you being funny like that?
No, then who's the father figure? Stepdad?
Maybe
Was it
it's not
grandfather?
one. But
Okay.
you have to understand, because a lot of female families are female dominant, and there is no
Gotcha.
father figure.
Okay, so then grandmom was the grandfather. Stay with me.
Maybe not.
right.
If
I'm
I
with
meet
you,
Big
yes.
Mama, I need to meet Big Mama. Who your favorite aunt? I need to meet your favorite aunt. Who your favorite cousin? I need to meet your favorite cousin because I'm meeting the collective conditioning
I understand.
of
Yes.
your unconscious and your core beliefs about black men.
Yes.
You never marry somebody without meeting the people who made them into who they are.
Mhm.
I
And
agree.
most of us
I
do
agree.
that. Too many of us do that.
I
We
agree.
all do it.
Like, you got to meet somebody, even if you might not
The
meet
key
all
people,
the aunts, the cousins,
The closest
uncles,
ones.
but
You got to meet them all. Who
Right.
But
who's
what if
your
we got a lot of closest ones?
Then you got to meet them all then. This is a lifetime. Marriage is a lifetime
It's
investment.
a lifetime commitment.
Right. Right.
Yeah. And see the other thing too now. Pregnancy, engagement, Cohabitation in marriage changes the relationship all the time. Because that's when you can no longer hide at all who you are. Once you get pregnant, all that front you was putting on, the minute you know you got that seat, you carrying Dr. Umar, baby. You gonna drop you gonna drop the whole mask.
Right,
She done went from cooking every day to not cooking at all. Because all that was a front.
But
maybe not.
I got your seat.
Maybe not. Maybe she liked to cook till she got pregnant.
Then she'll keep going.
No. Not if you're pregnant.
No, well, within reason.
Right.
Within
right.
reason.
Right.
So I cooked you waffles and bacon and eggs. Now I'm just cooking you waffles. I mean, is that the
maybe
reason?
You're not cooking at all. Now, cooking is just one example. It can be other examples. Maybe she looked like she was very careful with her spending. And so when she got pregnant, she just started blowing the money like crazy. In other words, your mask falls when you get pregnant. And the reason why women's masks fall when they get pregnant, because consciously they come to a conclusion that he's stuck with me whether he like it or not. That's why babies are game changers. That's why I tell a black man, if you with a woman who still treats you like a man and she got your baby, that's a good woman. Because in this society, the white man will work with your woman to destroy your life.
But they are game changers. But what about for the men that walk away?
And what do you feel about child support? What do you feel about child support?
It depends. If a man has the ability to pay, he should pay. My issue with child support is when y'all get pregnant by a brother who you know ain't got the means to provide, been to jail 2-3 times, can't find no job. Why did you take him to child support for? You knew what you were getting into. A situation like that, I would have to say that the woman was being a bit unfair because you knew the stakes up front. You know Tay-Tay been selling drugs all the time.
But hold up, Tay-Tay, you know when I got pregnant, you need to step your game up.
But you also knew Tay-Tay couldn't provide with a real job when you got pregnant.
But he couldn't provide when I got with a real job when I got pregnant. But the thing was, I didn't get pregnant on my own. So therefore, Tay-Tay, you knew when you did what you did, you should have been able to make the means to provide for the child.
And I agree with that, except for we need to be clear that child support isn't only financial. And I think this is...
I agree.
And and let me tell you,
we just had a show on that.
About
I agree.
that. It was called Child Support or Anger Support. And what I said...
Word, you should have, because we were serious.
It was either child support or anger support.
I agree with that.
But it was...
Revenge.
Yes.
Financial revenge.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And to me, when I said that, even if a dad is not on child support as far as the court system, you still need to pay support to the child. We as women, we pay child support. No, it might not be coming out of our check like as a certain amount on because the judge said that. But when we got to pay daycare, when we got to pay insurance, that's coming out of our check.
But step away from the financial, though. I'm saying that man can provide child support that doesn't consist of money at all if he's not able to.
But
he can be the aftercare. He can be the babysitter. He can be the transport. There's so many different things he can do.
And and that was our topic. But what about the ones that's not there doing nothing?
Does he have the ability to provide? If I got 2 felonies, nobody's hiring me, not even McDonald's. Why did you get pregnant by a man with 2 felonies? He can't get no job.
It's not why did you get pregnant by a man with 2 felonies. It's we made this baby together.
That's true, but why did you take him to child support when you knew up front that he would not listen?
It's not that I took you to child support.
But you know what you did?
It's because
you know what you did?
What
you
did
just
I
gave
do?
him his 3rd strike. He already got 2. Child support is a felony. Child support is a felony.
Guess what, sir? What you should have did with your sperm, you should have been more careful. You should have worn that condom. And guess what? As you said, what I do to give you your 3rd strike, what the hell did you contribute to?
So let me ask you a question. You're telling me
it takes 2 to tango is what I'm telling you.
And that's the thing. It takes 2. So if you got 2
wait a minute, ladies. Wait a minute. There's a war against black men.
Oh, no, I'm not. I swear I'm not.
You're sitting here telling me that you take no responsibility.
Oh, no. I say it takes 2 to 2. No, I definitely take responsibility.
Let me get the other side.
I do.
You mean to tell me you have no problem sending me to jail for the rest of my life with my 3rd felony because I couldn't pay child support?
No, I'm not okay with that.
You follow me?
No, I'm not okay with that at all.
No, but we saying that everybody need to play their conscious part.
No.
Motherfucker, if you know you cannot take care of this,
but you knew that.
As well did you.
So he should go to jail for the rest of his life?
I didn't say you should go to jail for the rest of your life, but I'm just saying you should be more careful.
Let me ask you another question. Let's talk about informed consent. Because I think one thing...
We need to sign consensus form, sir?
Why not? Shit, I'm signing everything. before I go out on a date, you're going to sign a non-disclosure. Okay? You signing a non-disclosure. Ain't nobody going to know when I hit it, when I quit it. Shut your ass up. I talk too much. But listen.
No, but it does. No, for real.
No, but let me say this, though.
Let me tell you, I do agree. It does take two. I'm not.
But you don't send a man to jail for the rest of his life.
I would never put the whole blame on a male. Never. At the end of the day, I would never do that. I have two kids. About two kids. Yeah, so I would never do that.
Right.
I would never do that. But it's just that at the same time, when you have males.
Can we agree that the white man has no place in a black relationship?
Can we agree? It just depends on if you put that white man there.
But because who does that? Because ain't no black man running to get no white man involved.
But hold up.
Girl, you better tell them.
Who initiates the child support? Who initiates the child support in custody? 95%.
Friend, go ahead and tell them.
Who initiates?
Go ahead and tell them you don't know no better.
Go
ahead and tell them. Okay, go ahead and tell them.
A traumatic
I did. I need some counseling and shit. Because what you had just said was don't nobody involve no white man in their situation.
We should not.
But it should not. But because your dumb ass is emotional and egotistical, you bring enough. I'm not saying you.
No, I got you.
I'm just saying certain people bring other people into a relationship that could be resolved had you not done that. So when you bring them into that relationship and they take over the shit you could have had control over, then you cannot be mad and you cannot blame the mother and say, "Oh, you brought the white man into the." Wait a minute, sir. I didn't do that. You chose
Can
that.
I play devil's advocate?
Yes, of course you can. That's what you.
How about you're not letting me see my child? Stay with me.
Okay.
I talk to your mother. She's not going to tell you to let me see my child. I talk to you. Nobody in your family going to help me see my son. Stay with me.
Right.
I'm playing devil's advocate.
Yes.
In that case, the black man is justified in initiating contact with the white racist power structure because it's the only way through which he can get some sort. You understand?
Why you saying it's white racist power structure if they're giving you access to see your kid?
They don't give a damn about us. They say nothing about the auction block.
I'm asking if you say it's the white racist.
It absolutely is.
But if you're going through them to get access to your kid, then how is it racist?
They say that's exactly why it's racist. Because the white people control the authority as to whether or not I see my child and how often. That is racism. Because he don't give a damn about me, my son, or my son's mother. They don't care about you.
But you involved him.
Because you wouldn't let me see my child. It was the only way I could get some sort of recourse.
Okay, so you don't think a black male can go the other way?
What other way?
Like be in anger and bitter to be
Yes, I believe that can happen.
Yeah.
And there's cases like that.
Yeah.
But most of the time, contact with the white man is initiated by y'all.
And you're right.
And the only time it's initiated by us, most of the time, is when y'all don't let us see our children and we have no choice.
And you know what?
Y'all use the kids against us a lot.
Listen, I agree. But in cases that 1% where you get that the father, the male is bitter and angry, it happens.
But why is he bitter and angry? Is this a situation where you labeled this man, made his baby, and then turned around and dropped him for another man while you carrying his child?
No, it's because you didn't to him obey him. You didn't obey.
Give me a specific.
You didn't obey.
What specifically did he want you to do that you didn't do?
What does it matter?
No,
it does matter because context is critical. Context is critical.
It don't matter because I shouldn't have to obey you in order for you to get your rights to your kid.
Dr. Umar, I'm gonna give you some examples.
Don't give his ass an example.
Trauma-based memory. You
better stop playing with me, Dr. Umar.
As that, you spending too much time with your family. That you got that insecure male. It's males out there that's insecure too.
And you were definitely spending time with your family, not another man, correct?
No. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
There are insecure men.
Yes. Insecure men.
They need to control you in order to control their.
Yes. It does exactly. So I can no longer control you. So now we have this kid together.
But did you switch the game up after you got pregnant, or were you always this way?
No, that's the thing. No, you was not always that way.
But do you know what this brings up?
What?
As I was about to say earlier, informed consent. we don't give each other informed consent.
Right.
You understand me?
No,
we lie and hide.
Right.
Until it's too late.
But we feel in love with what we see on the outside. We fall in love with what we see on the outside.
Tell me up front, I might cheat on you if you get too fat. Tell me. Give me informed consent. Tell me. If you ever cheat on me, I will take your ass to child support. Write it down. Let me see the rules of this shit.
Right.
These cookies cost X, Y, and let me see.
Right.
We don't give each other informed consent.
Right.
We don't.
Right.
The average black man don't tell his woman, listen, if your ass turn into Sasquatch after my second kid, I'ma dump you.
Who does?
But he should.
But that's what race
does. I mean, what race does?
Had you known that,
I mean, what race does?
You would have taken them Haagen-Dazs.
I guess it's just like one of those. We should do that. I get what you're saying, but we don't. We don't.
Who does? Why do we have to do that? Who does? It's a bunch of other women that's having babies that turn from your ass to the abominable snowman, and their husband is still there with all them little snotty nose ass.
Because that was not a non-negotiable for him.
But
it might be a non-negotiable for me.
It don't matter who puts that shit on paper. Like,
you need to stop. It's time for a paradigm shift. Dishonesty requires.
It's not dishonesty. It's unexpectancy. Because guess what? I may have your baby, but I may not think about
prenup.
I may have your baby, but I may not think about being as big as your ass after I have your one baby. Shit happens, my nigga. But I brought your life into this world, so how you going to tell me you not going to stay with me?
Marriage is business.
Is it?
Marriage is business.
Marriage is a contract.
Marriage is a business.
Say that then.
It's economics.
How do you feel that it's business?
Okay. When you go to divorce court, is anybody dividing up love? What they dividing up in divorce court? Assets, goddammit. Ain't nobody think about no love.
Word.
Marriage is about economics.
Peace.
Right.
I'm dividing.
Who you say I want my love back? I want the Benz. I want the house.
I want my peace. I don't give a damn about the Benz and none of that shit. Trust me, because I already done it.
So if your man was worth $10 million, you're going to go into the
I'm going to get that 20 million, nigga.
You're not going to.
I'm going to get that 20 million.
So you're not going to request no money. You don't believe her. Can you say that?
No, but Dr. Umar, it's not that. No. Because I can't speak for somebody.
Who believe that?
I cannot speak for somebody who has 20 million because I've never been in that situation. But to me, I've been.
And if I got a $10 million nigga, I'm gonna pull the $20 million nigga tomorrow. How you doing?
But when I went through my divorce, Umar, trust me, when I went through my divorce, it wasn't about
come on then.
Who can pay this. I just wanted to be divorced.
Peaceful.
I just wanted to be the
hello. Yes.
See, one thing women
even though it's like we ain't have nothing. Neither one of us had nothing.
One thing y'all not honest about. Y'all talking about how men shouldn't do women wrong, but it's something y'all not honest about.
But women do it too.
Wait a minute. Okay.
Y'all have this thing of continuous upgrading in y'all relationships. Women live off continuous upgrades. Let me tell you what I'm talking about.
Is that a bad thing?
Yeah, because you're supposed to be committed to that man. You're supposed to upgrade. Did y'all hear her? Did y'all just hear her?
I'm supposed to be committed to your broke ass.
You committed to me.
Sorry.
See, y'all have men thinking y'all bought him when y'all really just leased his ass. Can we be honest? Look, she laughing.
No, listen, Dr. Umar.
Women be leasing brothers, but they make brothers think they bought them. And when a better car come out, they will trade that lease in.
You're so wrong. You are so wrong. Unless the engine go bad, I keep my car.
She said unless the engine.
No, listen. I'm driving a Mercedes, a Mazda 3 out there. To me, the car, the money, it don't matter. To me,
y'all say that until y'all face with
that's not true because that's not true. Dr. Umar. It's one of those percentages.
So you're trying to tell me that you haven't noticed that a lot of women, not all, but a lot of sisters do have a continuous upgrade your lease policy.
Every woman is not like that.
But what is the problem?
I know it's not every woman, but it's a problem.
It's not.
It is a problem. Because let me tell you what happens.
So tell me what the problem is.
Let me tell you what happens. You get pregnant. You cool. All of a sudden, somebody come into your life who is nothing like the man you with. You never even thought about some guy like this, doctor, lawyer, but he all into you.
No.
Like, shit, I got 2 kids with this man. But this guy is all into you. A lot of women, This is what they're going to do.
That's a facade.
They're going to end that lease. They're going to end this lease and take up a new lease.
But the problem is that if you've been dating long enough, you already know that's that front shit. I mean, that front situation.
Women do it all the time, though. I just had a case the other week
And I'm not
where a
saying
woman
they
left
don't.
5 kids to go be with a man.
But I have a fear. To me, honestly, I have a fear of that because my fear is going to be like, I don't want to chase the dream of that you are going to take care of me. I don't know. I may be wrong or crazy, but I don't want nobody to take care of me. I want us to do it together.
That's good. That's good.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna have that fear to leave the man that I feel that we in this together. We both broke. We both fatherless, motherless, whatever the case may be, that we can build together. I'm gonna have that fear of walking away from that versus of somebody taking care of me and can throw in my face that I did this and I did that.
Well, he should have thrown it in the face.
But you have men out there that do that when they have a higher
Women do it too,
standard.
though.
Yes, and you are right. Men and women do it. So I want to be with somebody that we on the same page. I have a fear of, I really do, of being with somebody that's, not to say that you cannot be, I don't even want to use the word better, but I don't care if you got a high paying charge or whatever. Because to me, a lot of males, even men, women, hold that, oh, I make more money, or I took care of you, or I brought you in. I've been in a situation like that, and I never
Why did
want
you
to
stay,
go
though?
back.
Once you saw he was all about himself.
But I'm saying I've been. But
she said
I've been. That's why, I mean, not to say that's not why we're not together, because there's a whole lot. But that was one of my reasons when I went into my next relationship that I felt that I needed to have somebody that was compatible with me. Or I felt that was compatible with me. Because I didn't want that fear of feeling like I took care of you. I make more money than you, or if it wasn't for me, this and this and this and this and that. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
And yes.
But that's also a question of priorities. A lot of times we put the materialistic things above true heartfelt priorities. You understand? Like, some men go crazy when they see that fat ass. Women go crazy when they see that Benz. You understand what I'm saying?
Nah,
and that's not the stuff that matters most.
That never. But
I understand what you're saying about materialistic things.
Never.
I do. I understand what you're saying. So let me ask you something. In your opinion, I'm not saying as a black woman, but as a black man, what do you see black women can do to demand respect from their better half?
Well, number one, if a man respects women, he respects women. Let me give you an example now. You do something very disrespectful to me, I might curse you out. But at the end of the day, I'm never going to put my hands on you. I'm never going to disrespect you in front of the children because I respect women. You understand? It's like when
but you don't cuss me out and talk to me like I ain't shit.
Well, no. I ain't going to call you whores. No, nothing like that. But what I'm saying is this. Let's take the cookies, right? Sometimes women say, how long do you need to wait before you become intimate with a man so he still respects you? And my answer to that is there is no set time. The longer, the better. But what you need to understand is this. I know people who've been happily married for over 20 years and they got down on the first night.
Right. Agree.
Right.
Agreed.
I know people who waited 5 years.
Agreed.
And got divorced within 2 years.
Agreed.
If I respect you, whether we lay down on the first date or the 100th date, I'm still going to respect you because I respect women. On the flip side, if I don't respect women, you could have made me wait 2 years. I'm still calling you bitches and hoes because I just don't respect women. And that's why y'all have to do a better job of studying how that man feels about his own mother, the relationship he has with his own mother, and how he treats his own mother.
True.
Because, listen, your first love affair is with your opposite sex parent. A man's first love affair is with his mom, and a woman's first love affair is with her dad. And if something went wrong in that first love affair, it can affect every subsequent romance you have the rest of your life. Our families of origin exert not a deterministic influence over our romantic happiness, but a serious one.
So let me ask you something. With the way things are now, and it's a lot of grandparents that's raising children, how do you feel about?
I don't like it because grandparents don't have the tenacity to teach discipline to the grandchildren. I work with a lot of kids being raised by the grandparents. All they can do is love them, but they can't discipline them.
So I was raised by my grandmother. I was raised by my grandmother, and maybe she didn't have. Was she okay?
Well, you
so
a generation ago, though. How old are you?
old as hell. So
You're in your 30s, right?
boy, now.
But you beyond your 30s.
No.
32.
How old are you?
You know what?
Well, I just said 30.
I'm your ass through the door.
I got it right
I'm
then.
24. So,
But
as I was saying,
you was a generation ago, though. You feel me?
Right.
So,
like 17 seconds. But
right.
regardless to that, my grandmother raised me, and my grandmother also had a hand in raising my sister. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So the tenacity that, as you said, that she had to raise me, my sister is 10 years younger than me.
She didn't have it by the time
She did. She didn't have it by the time
she was tired.
She was tired, but she did what she had to do.
But she did what she had to do. She was tired.
So I thank God that she was there to step in for my mom that couldn't do couldn't do her thing, and my dad that was not available. You know what I'm saying? So I thank God she was there, but I don't think that's any less of a family structure because it wasn't my mom and my dad raising me in a home.
I agree.
And I thank God that my mom and my dad wasn't raising me in a home because that's a volcano and a tornado. I know both of them very well. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
So my grandmother was
right. But then
was
the question still
grace.
becomes, though, did you get what you needed from your biological mom and dad?
I feel that I got it.
Okay.
Maybe I didn't. My dad's still here. My mom left in January. Okay. So I feel that I still got everything I needed, but
one thing women need to understand that it's never too late to fix that relationship with their biological dad. A dad's love is a different type of love. No other man can give it to you.
No
a
shit.
Dad's love is a different type of love. No other man can give it to you.
Agree.
And it's never too late to fix it.
I agree. And I talk to him a lot. I do. I talk to my dad a lot. But as far as with my sister who came a decade after me, you see what I'm saying? My mom is older. My grandmother's older. Her dad is older. Her dad that I grew up with is older. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So everything I know, she don't know. But now she has a different relationship with my mom and everybody that I know. So I'm trying to tell her, like, I'm not your mom. But then again, I fell in that role of being the parent.
Right.
Because I'm responsible and I already know what the hell I've been through, so I'm not going to have her go through the same thing.
Right. But then you have to balance still being the sister, though, because see, the parent is authoritarian, whereas the sister role is more homogenous. And sometimes when you get parentified as the older sibling, you have to balance the authoritarianness to make sure they don't lose out on the emotional support that they need to get. You understand? You're not bouncing an idea off you, or you're my mother now, so I can't even do that because my big sister has totally parentified herself. You follow me?
Right.
It's like the parent who becomes the sister if he gets to be the parent.
Right.
You don't want to become the parent if they get to be the sister.
Yeah,
right.
What you just said.
Right.
you
right.
They need both. They need the authority, but they also need that emotional support.
Right. So it ended up being kind of both. Ended up being
Which
both.
Is good.
You know what I'm
saying? Need the balance.
In my relationship. But now that my sister is a little bit older, I made myself fall back, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, listen, I'm your sister, and this is the role I'm going to take. And she was like, well, finally good. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, damn, I've been waiting on you to be my sister. But the thing is that when I still see, because she's a decade younger than me, when I still see things that, ain't nobody going to tell you this.
You got to check her because you love her, period.
Yeah, ain't nobody going to tell you this because they love you like I love you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But the way it's going to come out may not be the way you're expecting it. It's not going to come out sisterly. It's going to come out very parentally and very authoritatively.
Which is fine if it's necessary. It's all about the context. You feel me? She about to date some dude who you didn't heard rape 2 sisters before. You better come out authority. Look, that nigga's a rapist.
Right. All right, we're not going to hold you up too long, Dr. Umar. But
yes, we is, because we got...
There's one thing I did want to talk to you about.
We're going to hold you up all night because you was late, and now we got all this time.
Go ahead.
The interracial marriage.
Yes.
I
don't support interracial marriage.
I know
Why?
You don't, but...
That's common sense.
But
no, don't say it's common sense. Everybody don't know.
I have a question,
because
real quick.
You can't build
Let me
strong
tell
black
you,
families.
I was watching...
Wait a minute. Wait.
Black men and black women.
Listen, I have a question. One of your interviews... You were saying how it starts from the home. And we all know it starts from the home.
Because the home instills the core values.
Right.
And principles.
So I have a daughter and I have a son. And I know...
One of them got a white dad?
No.
Wait a minute.
No,
It don't even,
no,
but it,
no,
but even if it do it matter if
No,
women don't like that?
yes.
How
no.
so?
I'll tell you
No,
why.
Well, tell me why.
Listen, can you please let me talk? Can you please let me talk?
Go ahead.
How do you say to your child, you cannot bring home another race?
Just like that. You cannot bring home a white woman because in this house, we value and cherish the traditional black family. And in this house, we are raising you to be committed and obligated and to honor that obligation to your black family. So you will only date black women, not because you hate anybody, but because you are committed to the women of your own culture.
Now, it's not that I don't disagree. Trust me, it's not that I don't disagree. But in your interview, you were saying we are one of the cultures that allow it.
Yeah, more than anyone else.
Right.
Everyone does
Yes.
it, but nobody
And
does
I agree.
it.
And I agree because
So
I
big.
have worked with several different cultures. And trust me, it was not happening. So
No.
I agree.
You get this home.
Right.
I know places now
you're
you
right.
get this
Yes,
home.
you are 100% right. You are 100% right. But I don't. If my son or daughter was to come home with another race, how would I react to, or how would I feel? I can't tell you how I would feel because I never even thought about not.
Well, you need to think about
Not to say that I thought
We
about
black
it.
in America.
Let me tell you why I probably never thought about it. Only because my daughter's now dating, which is a black young man. That don't mean she can't date again, but she's never brought home another race. And even my son, let's just say, he's young. He's too young to even start dating. But it's at the same time, I don't think it's okay for me as a mother. Just say as a mother, forget the black culture. Just as a mother, not forget it.
You can never separate yourself from race.
I don't want to say forget it, Dr. Umar. I'm just saying, just as a mother, as a parent, as the love that I have for my son and my kids. To say if you bring home another race, another culture, that I won't accept you. Will I agree to it? I might not agree to it, but I will. I feel that I would
But you're missing one point. They would have never even brought them home to you had you instilled in them the principles and values that they needed. It would have never even occurred. You understand me?
Okay, but what
as
about
a child is taught, so are their thoughts.
But what about the child that say, I don't care what I was raised this way, but I don't care what my parents say. This is who I fell in. This is who I fell in love.
You can't fall in love with people you don't date.
This is who I like.
You can't fall in love with them if you don't. I've been surrounded by white women my whole life, and they loved me, bought me gifts, flowers, eating stuff. They love me.
Like your mind is just not there. And in my mind,
my value, respecting and honoring black women is a principle of my life.
Right.
So it's impossible for Becky to ever earn my heart. You understand me?
All right.
You don't just fall in love. Love is a function of priorities. It's a function of principles. It's a function of values. You don't go through 400 years of slavery and say, I accidentally fell in love with a white person. Bullshit. Your whole indoctrination, your whole post-traumatic slavery disease played a role in you falling for that white person. And what no black person wants to admit is deep down the reason why you really wanted that white person is because you claim or you crave validation from them in order to justify your own existence. In other words, you suffer from a racial inferiority complex, and you feel the only way you can absolve yourself of that racial inferiority complex is to get with a person of the oppressor race.
And you know why I would say that I would never know that? Because I never dated outside my race.
Not.
And I never even wanted to.
White man
But I never did.
But my sister dad is white.
And I never wanted to.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
No, because you
let's
said
talk about that.
He said kids. He said he don't have no problem with kids because you can't help who the parents is.
Yeah, but my sister dad is white, and I love my sister, and guarantee you're damn straight.
But her father ain't.
And it don't matter because her mother is and her sister is.
And so your sister.
You're damn right. I'm standing in the gap.
Listen, you ain't even listen.
Well, tell me then. Well, say it then.
Your sister.
Yeah.
is a member of our race.
You're damn straight.
Her father.
Quay, what's good? That's
father.
my sister. That's her name.
So
her name is Quay.
She comes to the table.
Black as hell.
Exactly. But her father doesn't. So as long as she is clear on that, we're clear.
She's never been confused. That's what I'm saying. But the thing is that I don't, and I want to make sure you don't, because the thing is that because her father is white, I don't want you to feel, not even you, I just don't want it to be mistaken that she's not black.
How would that be? Does she look white?
Yes, hell yeah.
Okay. So
she light skinned. Huh? She light skinned as hell. You know what I'm saying? Oh, okay. Right. Well, she wanted me to give her a shout out.
The first color of the RBG flag is red.
But everything you're saying, I don't really have an opinion to that.
The problem is because
I've never dated outside my race, and I never wanted to.
Right, but what's sad part?
I never wanted to. Because I never even.
Because y'all black women.
Yes.
And if a black mother doesn't feel the need to teach her black son to be committed to black women, who else gonna teach him? It got to come from y'all.
Who said we didn't?
Do you follow what I'm saying?
No, I get it.
If you don't teach your son to be loyal to black women,
I get it.
Who else can teach that but the mommy?
Okay,
you can't be neutral.
So wait a minute. So you're saying we can't be neutral? So let me ask you.
Ain't nobody else neutral.
What is it about black women that deflects the black men?
That would have to be answered by black men who feel deflected by black women. But I'll give you 3 things that brothers tend not to like. Number 1, y'all talk too much. I'm being honest. One of the biggest complaints I get from black men is black women don't respect their privacy at all. In other words,
what do you mean their privacy?
I'm going to give you. We're married. But you feel the need to tell her everything about our relationship. You feel the need to tell her about our sex life. You feel the need to tell her about personal insecurities about me that I've shared with you. You need to tell her where we eat. You need to tell her where I proposed to you. Nothing is sacred because you always got to tell somebody else what's going on in this house. Black men don't like that.
Right.
They don't like knowing your girlfriend knows shit about him. He never gave you permission to tell him.
Right.
We cannot stand it.
Right.
Y'all talk too much.
No.
Well, that's interesting because is it not that black men do the same?
No, it's not.
I don't know. I don't.
No,
I'm
it's
very
not. I can definitely agree. Men, they may have their homeboys that they get together and they talk stuff, but we know as females, men don't gossip and talk the way we do. It's reality.
Y'all take it too deep.
Men don't.
Ain't no man gonna tell me how he hit his wife last night.
No.
You understand me?
No
man gonna tell me
it
how
might
he
be
has
a little booty call.
Right, but not his wife. He's not. You will tell her, not you, but a black woman will tell her girlfriend what her man does to her. That ain't nobody's business.
I agree.
Y'all talk too much.
That's being honest with ourselves. That's true.
Yes,
and we do that.
Number 2,
we do talk a lot.
The argumentiveness and conflictual nature. Some sisters are very argumentative and conflictual, and they mistake it for being strong. Listen, black men got enough to put up with out here with this white man. We don't need to come home and constantly have to be challenged on everything we say by our woman. Okay? Men don't like that. You see, I would never date outside of my race, but I know men who do, and they know I don't appreciate or respect what they're doing, but I hear the conversations.
Right.
And they will tell me, this Japanese woman, that shit I had to go through with Rashida, I don't have to go through it with her. Becky, I ain't got to argue with Becky. And it's not that they weak or passive. They respect his manhood. A lot of black women have issues respecting black men's manhood. Oh, yes. And you want to get the third one? Can I get the third one? Let me get the third one. Can I get the third one?
Let me
get the third one. Look at that face.
Let
me get the third one.
Let
me get the third one.
Let me say something real quick. Listen, when I say I agree to you, it's not that I'm not saying black men don't have faults.
Oh, they do.
Trust me, I know that. But everything you're saying or what I'm noticing about myself, or I had to talk to my fiance of stuff that I know about myself, you are correct. You are 100%.
And I'm gonna add something.
And you're not the first black male that said that. So it's not like it's just like you're teaching me knowledge
but I'm
of
gonna
that.
give you something else. Let me add something on that. Let me add something on that.
Stuff that he has said to me.
Let me add something on that. There's an emotional immaturity in some sisters, not most or all, where y'all feel that the man should figure out why you're upset instead of telling him why you're upset. This is not preschool. If I did something to offend you, let me know so I can fix it.
Well, if this is not preschool, it shouldn't be rocket science as to why I'm upset.
You see that? Maybe. She still wants to figure it out. She still wants him to figure it out.
Well, maybe it shouldn't be a mystery if you already know I'm upset because of what you did. It's not a problem for you to figure it out.
Men are objective and logical.
They're logical? Is that what we calling it?
Okay.
Sounds good.
Tell him what he did so he can fix it.
Well, shit, it shouldn't be rocket scientists because you know where you go wrong at. You know where you go wrong.
But you know what, but Jazz,
a difficult woman will be a lonely woman.
No, Jazz, it depends.
I'm not. No, don't do that.
I'm not saying.
But Jazz, it depends on the situation. Like if you did something in the forefront, like you walked in the door, I don't know, and I hate to give that an example, but I can't even. Sometimes, yeah, it's okay to say you know what you did, because let's just say you married, you're in a relationship, even if you're not married, and you walked in the door at 4:00 in the morning, and I've been calling you since 12. Yeah, you know why I'm mad. I shouldn't have to. No,
that's obvious.
Hold on, wait. Yes, that's obvious. You know why.
That still don't mean you shouldn't tell him though.
Right. Listen, and I will too.
I'm gonna say your hot ass was giving out Fruity Pebbles.
It depends on the person and the situation. You have some people that do a lot of talking. You have a lot of people that do a lot of talking. You have people that just shut down.
Okay, so wait
it depends. You have the people.
I'm not. Whoa.
Not you.
That's passive aggressive.
But that's the thing. You have.
I ain't dating no passive aggressive woman because that's low self-esteem on steroids.
But you have.
That's crazy as hell because it's not low self-esteem on steroids. It's just that we all grown and we know what the fuck we do wrong. Don't say it's low. Don't say it's low self-esteem. It's that we all wrong.
Jazz, you're missing something. Some people are passive aggressive. That's a personality disorder.
Just shut down.
And so we're stating the obvious.
No, listen.
I'm a talker. I would go on. I'm a talker. I would go on and on and on.
I'm looking at the comments.
Listen.
It's the comments.
I'm a talker. I will go on and on and on. At some point,
I'll make your point.
But I will.
Make your point.
I will make your point to the obvious.
I might say
my point now. Your dumb ass already know. Why is we talking about the obvious?
Trauma-based memory.
Why is we talking about the obvious? You already know you shouldn't have fucking done it. Why is we talking about what you shouldn't have done? Your dumb ass walking here at 4:00 in the morning. You already know I don't like it. Why the hell is we conversing about it? You shouldn't have done it.
Well, I agree with that.
Flat out.
I agree with that.
Okay, but wait a minute. See, now my damn reception is messed up, and I can't even get to the comments, Dr. Umar.
You can't get to the comments?
See what happens. Give me 17 seconds. They said we should engage the comments because we ain't been talking to nobody that's been tuning into the show.
We was having a regular conversation.
Right, but the last thing I want to give it to y'all if I can. The third.
No.
Challenging his authority in front of his children, in-laws, or members of the community. Oh my God. There's nothing a black, he says something and you cut him right there. Oh no, we're not doing that. Oh my God, it's the most emasculating thing. That'll get you left. That'll get you divorced. You understand? You wait and check him later. You understand, baby? Tell him you don't check. No, excuse me. He don't know what he's talking about. Right. I've had people do that to me at lectures. No, my husband don't know what he's talking about. You don't cut the man like that.
So, but you do it to the woman? Is that okay?
No, it's not okay.
No, nobody cut anybody at any time.
But remember, we were talking about the women here.
I'm just asking. Is it the same for men and women?
Yes. Each should be held accountable for it. But because the man is the traditional leader of the family.
But if I'm leading a conversation and I'm holding a conversation, do you cut me because you're the man in the traditional leader?
No. You should be respected.
Right.
I ain't here to fight, Dr. Umar.
No, you really are, Jazz. You're being offensive. Like,
whatever.
But you really are, though.
So what? I'm just asking because to me, if it don't make sense, it don't.
We peeled her onion.
But everybody.
We peeled her onion.
No,
honey.
It's everybody opinion, everybody talking. But it's like it's okay. We having grown up conversation. We talking. Nobody. It's not a wrong or right answer.
Right.
You have to own up where you are in your relationship. And like I said, what you said, you're not the first to say it. You're not the first that I've heard. My fiance done said it to me. I done heard it before. Like you said, men don't like to be told about what's going on in the home.
Mm-hmm.
You're 100% right. And I'm one of those people too. Like, I can talk to my family, I can talk to my friends, but it is certain things that I won't share, regardless if it's about me or what's going on in my home. Because sometimes some things you just don't need to know. Because once you let something out, people tend to hold that against you.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Like, you could say one thing in your relationship, and then the whole relationship is focused on that.
Yeah.
Oh, he pissed me off, or he came in the house 2:00 in the morning. But then,
it's like the woman.
Like that happens. Like it's like you feel like I don't want you to feel some type of way.
Yeah.
Like I'm not happy.
But also like the woman.
Or like it's the end of the world as a relationship because this one thing happened.
Right. Or like the woman who told her family that the husband cheated, and she knows she ain't leaving him.
Right.
Do you know what you just created a very uncomfortable you understand me?
Right.
For everybody. You know you wasn't leaving that man.
Right.
Why did you share that? Now if you was leaving, fine. But you ain't leaving. So now when he goes around them, they gonna feel some type of way.
But at the same time, but how do you know you're not leaving? Because guess what?
Then you don't tell them to know.
If you telling somebody, okay, my man cheated on me, that's because you know that person has been through that, and maybe you're looking for advice or help to deal with that.
And can I bust that bubble? Let me bust that bubble. I don't give a damn what advice your friend give you.
I didn't say a friend. I'm just saying
whoever.
I'm just saying people that
whoever. If you're thirsty for that man, you're not leaving anyway. So you don't need no damn advice because you know you ain't going nowhere. Right. 20 people can tell you to leave. You're not going to leave if you know you're all into him.
Right.
I don't know.
Most women know if they leaving or not the minute they find out he cheated.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need no. You already know, but you don't want to admit it to yourself.
Right.
True.
Right.
Which is why I tell black women, stop telling men you're going to leave when they cheat when you don't leave, because all that does is let them know how weak you are with your willpower. Put your big girl panties on.
So you say just wait till it happens, and then you make no. I'm saying like just
don't tell me you leaving and you're not,
right?
Because you're really showing me how weak your willpower is, and you're showing me how much power I actually have in this relationship,
right?
Because I know you.
And some men probably feel that way, but they just won't say it. But no, some obviously they.
Oh, you mean like no, I know I got her?
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah! You know when you got a woman. You know when you got a woman.
Right.
Why say it?
Right.
Why spoil a good thing?
Okay, hold on, guys.
Right.
Because we have not been engaging with our audience because we've been all into damn Dr. Umar.
We ignited a trauma-based memory. You had to pack it back up.
All right. So thank you all for joining us because I'm trauma-based and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So thank you all for joining us. Hold on, we got some comments. We have...
And we in the studio with Jazz and T, of course. This is the JT Ladies Lounge, not your typical lounge. And we already told y'all that. You know, we on the air, we be mobile. So if you ever want to interview and everything, just hit us up. You know where to hit us up at JT Ladies Lounge.
Somebody said he's dropping all this and don't have his own queen. That's a good point. And to that I would tell you, I have 20 years of therapy under my belt. So I don't speak to you as a married man. I speak to you as a therapist who have dealt with hundreds of married men and married women.
Okay, so then we have somebody else that says, just know one man's opinion does not speak for us all. And then I had someone else said that in a relationship, we should have mutual respect and grounds on how to handle situations at home and outside of home. That was Rich
All you need is informed consent. I want it on paper. Before I get married, my wife is going to write down the 10 non-negotiables. I want to see them. What are the absolute 10? And I'm going to give her the same link so she can think about this. Because we don't put nothing on paper and give people time. Things put on paper are totally different than what's in your head. You understand me? Let me see what you're not. Let me know that you're going to look nasty in 30 years so I can decide if I want to be around. And a woman should do the same thing.
Paulina said, as women, we have to exercise discretion and don't need to address everything with our man.
Like what?
That's what Paulina said. Paulina Johnson has said that.
We have to exercise discretion.
Yes, that's what she said. We
Paulina
have to exercise discretion.
Rick said
she said we don't need to address everything with our man. So
that may be true.
Very well may be so. And it says, why is the pink chick yelling? Calm down, girl. To Carla
because
I felt like it. That's why.
That's true.
And that's why men don't want to hear you as women.
I won't leave, but your ass gotta go.
And then we have some people that's saying hi to Dr. Umar.
Peace and love.
We want to thank Dr. Umar for coming down, doing the interview with us and sharing your knowledge and just giving your thoughts and opinions.
Did you read this one already?
A king with no queen has no point of reference on what a queen is. And I respect DD, but again, I'm speaking as a therapist. So DD, if you don't like it, you can calmly and promptly remove yourself from the Facebook Live.
But at the same time, it's not to say that you didn't have a queen. Like,
or that you don't want one. It's also to say that you don't want one.
Happen. Like, it's not to say that you didn't have one, or who's to say you don't.
But not only that,
who's to say you don't? Just because you might not bring it to your interviews, not to say you might not talk about it, that don't mean you don't have one.
Here's what I'd say to people. Number one, if they don't value my information, they don't have to. That's their right.
Right.
But number two, you got two men. You got a man who's married for 20 years to this one woman, right? Then you got another man who's never been married, but he has helped people with their families for 20 years, hundreds of families. You understand me? Who's more likely to give me the valuable answer that I need or advice? Because you got to make your own decision. The man who's dealt with 20 years of one woman, or the man who has done therapy with hundreds of different families under different situations, different social, you understand me? So I've been in so many different people's personal business as a therapist. I see it this way, this way, this way.
Right.
So that's not to discount the man with the 20-year-old marriage, but it is to say that somebody with experience working with people professionally, family therapy, definitely has something you might need to listen to offer.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. J, Tim, and Shady for joining us. Everybody's saying hi, Dr. Umar. We have a question that says, would you date a woman like Rachel Dolezal?
Is she what? Is she what?
That's how much right.
I would. Look,
I mean,
I don't date white women. I only date black women.
Right.
Okay? Sisters are sisters. So that means whether they African from Africa, whether they African from the Caribbean, that includes Afro-Rican, Afro-Cuban, biracial sisters or African, like Jazz's sister. I date a biracial sister. I've dated them before. You understand me? So African is African to me, but I don't date outside of my race. You know what I mean? You know, she got to cook because I like to eat and I don't want to cook. And I like curves. Let me stop.
you too much, Dr.
But Dr. Umar, we're going to end this.
Okay.
And we want to thank you.
Thank you.
For joining us.
I will be speaking in Baltimore. Come on out.
Yes.
Dr. Umar Johnson will be speaking in Baltimore next Thursday, July the 20th, at the Downtown Cultural Arts Center, 401 North Howard Street. Doors open up at 4, lecture from 6 to 9. It's a very serious lecture. We're going to be talking about the anatomy of strategy, introduction to military science for Pan-African nationalists, the Black Supremacy Handbook. This is a lecture that people have been asking me to give because I've never completed it, and I will be giving it. So if you want to know about military science, I want to take you on a journey through our ancestors' history so you can see how they were able to beat